Hello, my name is Andrea.
I'm Shion.
And I'm Shaima.
And today we're going to present you our device, which is an implantable biocapsule for treating type 1 diabetes. Diabetes is a metabolic disease in which the body is unable to produce any or enough insulin to control glucose levels in the blood. Around 422 million people were diagnosed with diabetes worldwide, and 5% of those were diagnosed with type 1. So we chose to treat type 1 since type 2 is easier to control through healthy diet and exercise, and type 1 requires a harder way of controlling it. Currently, people require to constantly monitor their blood glucose levels, and in case of high concentrations, they require injections or insulin pumps that are hazardous for both children and adults to administer. In case of administering the same site, it can cause scarring tissue, as you can see in the picture. And regarding the expenses of the treatment, in 2012, the U.S. spent $245 billion in finding a treatment. Therefore, patients are currently seeking for a more accessible and economic way of treating it.
Our solution to this problem is to create a biocapsule made from polyurethane with 5 chambers, and these 5 chambers will house pancreatic islet cells. And both sides of this biocapsule will be capped off by an electrospun polyurethane nanopore membrane sandwiched in between 2 polyurethane meshes. And this membrane allows selective diffusion of small molecules like insulin, glucose, and oxygen, while prohibiting the entry of larger bodies like cytokines, antibodies, and immune cells. We chose polyurethane because it's proven to be a biocompatible, hemocompatible material in the medical device industry, and also because it has elastomeric properties, which is favorable when considering mechanical compliance with the surrounding tissue. In terms of surface modifications, the outside will be modified with chitosan and heparin, which will provide the device with anticoagulant, anti-protein fouling, and anti-thrombogenic properties. The inside will be coated with RGD peptides, which will allow islet cell adhesion, and this will be done in a manner so as not to allow formation of islet cell aggregates, which can negatively affect the efficacy of these islet cells. What this device does is it immunoisolates the islet cells and allows them to perform their natural function without inducing an autoimmune response. A total of about 1 million pancreatic islet cells grafted from cadaveric donors will be implanted into the device, which will then be implanted into the greater omentum. And we chose this location because it's highly vascular and is easily accessible through surgery. In terms of the lifetime of the device, we're projecting it for it to last for about 5 to 10 years, and this number is based off of the number of years islet cells remained effective in islet cell transplantations.
So now we're going to talk to you about the benefits and costs of our device. Regarding the benefits, as you can see, patients will no longer need to monitor blood glucose levels in a constant manner. It would also eliminate the need for insulin pumps or injections, and therefore it would eliminate the scarring tissue. When talking about the islet transplantation, that immunosuppressive drugs will no longer be needed, and this would make an easier and simpler method for patients, which definitely will improve their quality of life.
Some of the costs are because it's implantable, surgery is required, which means it's still invasive. However, it's a one-time procedure, and it's minimally invasive when compared with current treatments. It is a new technology, so it may be initially expensive, and currently there's no reliable supply of pancreatic islet cells. We've proposed using cadaveric islet cells, but often the purification process does not guarantee highest quality, and it's also limited by the lack of donors. And if the islet cells need to be checked for any reason, the biocapsule will need to be removed, which is inconvenient to patients. In terms of competition, lancing devices, medication, insulin injection, and insulin pumps are the most commonly used techniques, therapies, and treatments today, but these require constant monitoring of blood glucose levels, which our biocapsule bypasses. Medtronic recently developed an artificial pancreas, which was FDA approved and incorporates, it's an external device that incorporates a blood glucose monitor and an insulin pump. And finally, islet transplantations are most similar to what we're proposing. However, it's much more invasive and requires a catheter to guide the islet cells through the abdomen to the liver.